Ebukhosini. Lesedi Khanya, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Tash. You are watching yet another episode of Life is Spiritual. Alright, so this channel is about medicine, healing, and motivation. It's a channel that basically shares and aims to teach, right, about life experiences, spirituality, higher levels of consciousness. All right, so I do believe that I'm one of the people, right, who are assigned, all right, to help raise the collective vibration, right, of the universe. Who is Natasha? Natasha is a medical doctor. I'm also a teacher. All right. I am truly a mystic. I'm truly an alchemist. All right. I'm a spiritual healer. Yeah. All right. So this channel, guys, it's aimed to teach holistic healing, right? The mind, the body, and the soul. All right, so today we're going to be talking about something that I've been wanting to talk about for the longest time, right? Because I've been undergoing some spiritual classes of my own, all right? And I had to find a way, right, to sort of like package what it is that I'm going to teach or what it is that I'm going to say. And Spirit was like, okay, this is how now we want you to deliver the message, or how we want you to sort of like deliver the lesson. All right, so guys, there's going to be a lot of changes, okay, around here in terms of the direction that my channel is going to take. All right, because we are evolving, right? Spiritually, we are evolving, and a lot of things are becoming clearer and clearer as we go throughout the spiritual journey. So I teach, right, based on my experiences. As someone who is born on the 7th of November, I am a Scorpio, so I am not someone who is very light-hearted, right? I am for the deep people, right? Those who are here to discover truth, right? Those that consider themselves as mystics, those that consider themselves as that are all about the inner transformation, the Christ consciousness. Right, I'm here for those people. If you don't resonate, right, with my teachings, that's fine. You won't be everybody's cup of tea. All right, we are all here to have our own individual unique journeys, right, in life, and however that looks for you, that is for you. All right, so I'm here for those that want to learn, right? Learn with me, as I also go right through my experiences. So as a Scorpio, someone born on the 7th, I am here in this world to sort of go through a lot of death and rebirths, right? I am what people will describe as the phoenix, right? Coming from the ashes. All right, so a lot of death and rebirths, and right, so there's a lot of life lessons that I need to learn in order to sort of help the people that I come across, or the people that I encounter, right, in my space or in my life or in my environment. Okay, let's learn, guys. So today we're going to be talking about something very important. It's very important. So this message was prompted by my experiences as well. All right, so going throughout my spiritual journey, I'm learning that there are different levels, right, when it comes to spirituality. And so as spiritual people, we're constantly evolving, right? We're constantly moving. We're never just stuck in one place. While we are required to evolve, it can feel sometimes very confusing because you don't really have the sort of the words to say, all right, what is actually going on, right, in your spiritual journey, or when you graduate from one level to another, right, you don't have the words to kind of like articulate what it is, right, that you are really going through. All right, so I hope this video will make a lot of sense, all right, to those that it will resonate with. Being on the spiritual journey and knowing that there's different levels to spirituality, all right, when we go through our spiritual awakenings, a lot of us are called right into ancestral awakening, right, or ancestral sort of initiation. What does that mean? All right, so there are different types of healers, guys, in the spiritual walk. There are healers that are called to work on ancestral things, bloodline things that are concerning the bloodline issues, the bloodline ancestors. And there are also healers who are called, right, to work on in more universal ways. There is a world where these two can coexist, as in you've got a mixture of ancestral and you've also got a mixture of universal, right? Or rather the soul, right? You've got soul ancestors. So what does that actually mean, Dr. Tash? All right, so there are different types, guys, of ancestors. The bloodline ancestors are those that are coming to you, right, via the bloodline, connected to you via your bloodline, right? This is where you find right, your grandmothers, your great-grandmothers, your great-grandfathers, and whatever. All right, so the most recent sort of people, all right, that were existing in your bloodline. A lot of us, when we receive the call, all right, these are the people that usually come forward to come and present certain gifts to us. So we receive these sort of ancestral callings. But then as we go out through our spiritual journeys, then our spiritual lens sort of changes, all right, because now we get introduced to what we call the soul ancestors, which are completely different. Right, when we're talking about soul ancestors, we are talking now more cosmic, right? More cosmic consciousness, cosmic energy. The cosmic ancestors, meaning now you're connecting to angels, you're connecting to sort of like super beings, right? Ascended masters, celestial beings, all right? So anything that has to do with the universe, right? And cosmic cosmic energy, all right? And so a lot of us don't know, all right, that we are actually called rather on a soul mission, not really an ancestral mission, all right? Because the soul mission, before you can even get to the soul mission, right, you have to transcend, right, the ancestral initiation or the ancestral mission, right? So I'll make an example about myself. When I started my spiritual journey, I got introduced, right, to the ancestral initiation. By the way, guys, ancestral initiation does not necessarily mean that you need to go to a healer, right, and sit there for 6 months and whatever, and twasa, okay? All right, that's where the misconception is, because there's a lot of our ancestors, right, who were what they call AMAKHOSI, all right, or the royal healers, meaning that some of us come from lineages, right, where they were royals, and some of us come from lineages where not only of blood royalty but spiritual royalty. Okay, so going on your ancestral initiation does not mean that you need to go through ukutwasa. And I know in the beginning, all right, because you're receiving all these messages and dreams, it can be very confusing. You're dreaming of Amabai, you are dreaming of Izambato, Dipika, you're dreaming of all these things, right, that look very general and ancestral, right? You're dreaming of all these people or a certain grandmother or a grandfather or whatever, right, coming to you and presenting a particular gift. you might assume that now it's time for me to twasa, or you receive certain messages, or you dream of a certain gobela, right, that you are supposed to go to, all right, to start your ancestral sort of initiation. Right, that is what happens, right, to a lot of us. The ancestral initiation, guys, it is about the bloodline, the bloodline, the bloodline, the people that are in your lineage. And what comes with the bloodline is what we call the karma. In a lot of our bloodlines, there's something called ancestral karma. Karma, as we know it, it is a universal law. The universal law of cause and effect that eventually has certain consequences. Let me make an example. All right, there was a king, right, that lived within your lineage. And this king slaughtered innocent people. All right, so it means that the descendants of that king, right, are going to inherit the karma of killing that person, right, within the bloodline. Meaning that if that king does not rectify, all right, what he did, that karma, right, or that energy, all right, it's going to stick, right, in the bloodline and go down via his descendants. Right? Or let's say in your bloodline there was a grandmother, right, who was a witch, and she used to do bad things, right, in the bloodline, kill people or whatever. That can also create karma or karmic energy, right, within the bloodline. Or there've been people who have miscarried in the bloodline, right, and they did not cleanse, right, their miscarriages or abortions, right, or whatever the case may be. They did not cleanse those souls, right. Those souls go around lingering, right, within the bloodline. Those kind of things can create very negative karmic energy, right, within the bloodline. Each and every bloodline has some sort of karma that it needs to transcend. So a lot of you are not actually going to, unquote, digobela because you've got a spiritual gift of healing people, but you've got a gift, right, of healing the bloodline. You are the bloodline sort of like healer, correcting certain things in the bloodline. And correcting certain things in the bloodline does not necessarily require you to go and sit right under gobela or something like that. So it really does depend on your bloodline. And I'm not saying that uktwasa or via gobela or anything is wrong, but there are some people that are not supposed to be there. All right, the things are conducted in a totally different way. Why? Because batsama le makhosi, and makhosi, right, has their own rituals. I'll make an example about myself. Initially, I did go to a healer that I was shown who was going to fix my, what they call a prophetic gift or istunya. And I eventually found this person and she did what she did. But when I was there, right, it was made known that I've got more than one gift, not just the prophetic gift. As in, right, I am a healer, kingaka. I was told that no, I need to uplift these things at the same time, all right, because all of these ancestors, okay, exist within me, all right. And then I decided to embark on that journey of bungaka. But little did I know that that was not the way that my ancestors, right, wanted things to go. So I learned certain lessons from that person, and there came a certain time where my Makhosi ancestors were like, all right, you're not going to complete the full initiation. This is how we want you to initiate. All right, I will put up a video that explains that whole scenario. That is why I'm saying transcending the bloodline issues does not necessarily mean that you need to twasa. Some of you, all right, leading akachupe, some of you, your ancestors don't want you to initiate via someone. You've got the kind of ancestors that want to initiate, or they will tell you what it is that you need to do. You need to connect via the bloodline. Connect to them via the bloodline, and they will tell you what to do, which is the kind of ancestors that I have. All right. So there's a lot of sort of things, right, that you need to work through. You might go to the wrong gobela. There's a lot of people who said, I went to the wrong gobela, I left what, I did this, I did, right? It can be very confusing, all right? Transcending the bloodline issues. Because of what? Because your mission, right? You're not here to necessarily work on ancestral things and twasa and become a sangoma. You might be more of a universal healer, where your ancestors work with completely different methods. Maybe they want crystals, maybe they want tarot, maybe they're using the Bible, maybe there's so many things. Maybe they just use water, they pray for people, that's what they do. There's a lot of us, all right, that have needed to transcend those bloodline issues, right, in order for us to get into what the soul issues or the universal issues. Transcend ancestral initiation going into soul initiation, which is totally different. So if you come from a lineage where the ancestral things for a very long time have sort of like been skipped, as in the people who are supposed to do the work, right, in your generations, on both your mother and father side, right, there's a lot of backlog, right, of ancestral work not being done, or there's a lot of backlog, right, of ancestral karma. It's going to be a very tough journey. Because now that you decide that, okay, you're going to accept your call, a lot of the ancestors are going to come to you, right, and expect this and that, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that. All right, because it means that there's a lot of things that have not been done right, in the bloodline, which slows down also, right, the progression of the bloodline and where the bloodline is supposed to go. Expect, right, that you're going to be seeing a whole lot of ancestors. On my journey, guys, there's a lot of things that I had to transcend, right, and I had to fix because of the backlog of ancestral karma and sort of people not taking up their gifts, right, in the bloodline, right? Let's say your grandmother had a gift, she didn't take a gift. Let's say her mom had a gift, she didn't take your gift. Usually lineages like that, there's a whole lot of backlog of things, right, and ancestors. And if you've got ancestors that are giving you gifts from both sides of the family, good luck. It's very difficult, you understand. The spiritual journey is not for the faint of heart. So usually when you do begin your ancestral calling, you are going through sort of bloodline issues. Some people, batwas, they go through the full initiation. When they're done with that initiation, then comes the soul things, and it's like, oh, you're not here to work as a sangoma or on bloodline issues. No. You're on a soul mission, which is totally different, right? And they might need to go through some sort of cleansings or rebirth or whatever the case is, right? Because here in the soul side, it is very different, and how things are conducted this side is very different. Once I started my ancestral work, then came my soul ancestors, and I was like, whoa, what's going on now? Because I thought I am done, and they were like, nope, you need to fix this, right? So a lot of the ancestral initiations include fixing umsamo. A lot of the ancestral initiation includes cleansing of particular ancestors, right, that are in the bloodline. They will tell you what it is that you need to do. So you might dream of a lot of different places, secret places, bodies of water, right, where you need to go cleanse these particular individuals. Being the bloodline healer, it is difficult. It's difficult, right, if you are chosen to heal the bloodline. But it is doable. It is doable. People who are undergoing the bloodline healing journey, right, they are mostly self-initiates, right, because it is your bloodline that needs to come and tell you what it is, or the people that are in your bloodline, they need to come and show you what it is that they require of you. All right, so once I actually left that Gobela's house, right, via my ancestors' instruction, I started going through self-initiation. I was shown, go here, do that. Go to the secret location, do that. Cleanse us here, do that. All right, so there's a lot of work, guys, that needs to be done. All right, before you can actually, if you are someone who's on a soul mission, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, right, in the ancestral. You will dream of a lot of things because there's a lot of ancestors that might come to you. All right, but it doesn't mean that you need to take up everything. All right, usually people that are bloodline healers, right, you will see a lot of izambato, mabai, dipeka, like you're gonna have a lot of them, okay? Because they will tell you where it is that you need to cleanse them and what it is that you need to do for them, all right, so that they can be set free. As you raise the vibration of the bloodline, if you are called to heal the bloodline and ancestral things, it won't be an easy journey. Because as you try raise the vibration, there are those that are in your bloodline, right, that might be counteracting whatever it is that you are doing. Those that were benefiting off of the bloodline being in low vibration, right? Expect that you're going to go through a lot of spiritual attacks. They don't want you to actually reach your soul mission. They don't want you to reach what it is that you've been called to do. But the great thing is that people who are on a soul mission, they don't walk alone. There's an entire entourage of people and ancestors and forces fighting for you, right, in the universe, so that you can do what? So that you can ascend, so that you can raise the vibration, not only of yourself, but of your family, all right? So you will always be protected. Always be protected. Once you start transcending the ancestral initiations, right, then comes the soul initiation. I remember I was sent to go somewhere, right? Very secret location, right? And when I was sent to go to that place, they sent their own mentor to take me through that thing, okay? That I cannot talk about because it was very sacred. And they said, okay, you're actually connected to a bloodline of water royalty, so you need to do 1, 2, 3. All right, so I remember once I had gone to that place, right, and completed that alignment. Once I had aligned and done what it is that they had told me to do, I then received a dream from my ancestors, from my bloodline ancestors, that said, now you have passed. This is what we require you to do next. And then I was given a further instruction on, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do to connect with your Mdao spirit. And this is the person that is going to help you to heal Mdao, the kind of Mdao spirit that you have, right? Which is very different from what is being done out there. Right? And then I remember I dreamt, right, of the person that was going to help me through my Mdao cleansing and everything else, right, that I needed to do, right? So you will be shown who's going to help you at what particular time, where it is that you need to go. You just need to take the instructions. Once you have transcended that, they also need to come show you that, okay, whatever it is that you have done, we are satisfied with, or you are now moving on to another level. All right, they will come tell you guys. It's either you'll see yourself graduating, or they'll tell you that you've graduated, they'll tell you that you've passed, or you see yourself passing in tests, whatever the case is. All right, This is how you know you are now moving, all right, from sort of like your ancestral initiations, right, into more soul or universal initiations. Now, how do you know now that you're starting the universal or the soul initiations? Your dreams will become much more different. I think I need to teach about universal or spiritual gifts, right? That's what I'm going to do next. So, the universal or the soul initiation, it has nothing now to do with the bloodline. You've done the bloodline things. You're now working on what we call the dharma. There's the karma, right, which is bloodline issues, and now there's the dharma. The dharma has to do with your spiritual and moral duty. It has to do with your purpose, what you came into this world to do. Doesn't have to do with your granny or your great-grandmother or whatever the case is. You've done that. The dreams in this section are very different. You're connecting now to what? Cosmic levels, energy. You are seeing more cosmic things. You are dreaming of universal things. That's how you know. Now you are making contact, or you're entering the territory of what? The soul initiation. You might see a lot of symbols like a cross. And you're like, okay, what does that mean? Does it mean that now I need to go back to church? Not necessarily. The cross has nothing to do with Christianity, right? But it's rather what? A symbol, right, of transformation. A symbol also, right, of duality, the divine union. It's got everything to do with that. The real Christ consciousness. You're dreaming of universal things. There's a lot, guys. Rainbows, sun, moon. Your dreams have changed. All right, this is now you know you are entering a different frequency, or you're elevating, right, in terms of your soul mission. Right. Soul missions. One, you're divinely protected. There's a whole entourage, right, of ancestors that you walk with. You're the type of person that does not really have one lead guide, all right, but you walk with a plethora of different ancestors, meaning could be a combination of ancestral ancestors, bloodline ancestors, right, and universal soul ancestors. Here we're talking about more cosmic, celestial. Right, the soul ancestors do not necessarily have to be the same race as you. You will dream of people of different races. You will dream of people of different shades. Chinese, Indians, white people, right? Because one thing that you need to understand on soul initiation level is that your soul has been traveling right throughout time, and you came into this lifetime reincarnating, right, as the person that you are. But you've been here before in different bodies. Right, so you're here on a soul mission. And sometimes, right, you will dream of past life events and so forth, right? So it's a very interesting journey, right? In this phase, your purpose, right, is being made clear to you. A lot of your people, right, came across seas, oceans, etc. They were here for trade. They were here for so many different things, right, that I will not get into. Right, so these are very ancient ancestors, guides, that we're talking about right here in the soul level or the soul initiations. You're connected to angels, ascended masters, etc. It's a totally different ball game. Those of you that are called for a soul mission, there is a point where you will need to transcend the ancestral initiation, right, and go into the soul mission. And what you are here for, or what you've been assigned to do, what you came back here to do, right, it is going to be made known to you. So it's all about taking the instructions, guys, and doing the work. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in order for you to tap into different levels of consciousness, in order for you to tap into the different bodies, right, that exist within the person. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, right, for you to ascend, right, and the kundalini, for your kundalini awakening to begin. AMAKHOSI, I hope you learned a lot from my channel. Please do not forget to do the right things. I will be coming back with more content, right, about topics regarding the mind, the body, and the soul, right, because this is the channel, right, that aims to teach about medicine, healing, and motivation. Right, so remember that eating and living well is a form of self-respect. Respect yourself. Goodbye.